So are we live now, Pat?
We are live. I see us over in YouTube.
All right. So I guess I'll just say, welcome to the Create and Vent podcast. Sorry, we're a couple minutes late. I was having some sound level issues. Right now, it looks like I've got it adjusted correctly.
I think we are good to go. We are ready to rock and roll.
Good. So anyway, yeah, welcome to the Create and Vent podcast. As you can tell, this is a live stream, and we're, today we're going to talk maybe about some of our goals for next year. I don't actually have any cooked up yet, but maybe we'll talk about some goals.
Can we talk about my goals from this year so we can find out if I've been doing a good job?
Yes, we can.
I really only have one.
Okay. Well, that could be good. That could be bad. But I mean, the thing is, though, we really want to hear about your goals too, and anything else you guys want to do to call in. Just say, hey, that this stuff is in the description. You don't even have to click the read more link. You just click it, click it or ticket, as they might say. But we won't give you a ticket because we just, we're not like the citizens.
And even if we do, it's unenforceable.
That's right.
It won't hold up in court.
But yeah, all that being said, since we're live, Pat, do you want to go ahead and do the top 5-ish patrons?
No, I don't. I'm going to overrule you this week, Jeremy. Do you know what we're going to do first this week? Because we keep forgetting to do it first.
Sure.
We got to talk about speakpipe.com and play back some call-in.
Yeah.
Noises.
But Pat, I'm going to overrule you as well, because you know what we never remember to do? To say the date, which is December 7th, 2023, for posterity.
That is a good job, Jeremy S. Cook.
Thank you, Pat. But yes, let's hear what's going on SpeakPipe, which we actually have some people that called in, so that's awesome.
Well, I'm going to let everybody know speakpipe.com is what you could get. You could go to speakpipe.com/createinvent, and when this is post-processed and uploaded, that'll be down at the bottom, but not for you live folks. You could go and you can leave us a voice message. And I decided, Jeremy, these are time-shifted live callers. That's
right.
Isn't that good?
Right.
I like that a lot.
That's good. I like that a lot.
I have 3 of them here.
You do.
And 2 of them are a month old because we forgot we had these when we talked to Steven last week. All right, this first one, nobody said not to say their name, so I'm going to say the name here. This one says it's from Rob Groves. I'm not going to give you his email address. Let's see if I got my volume up here.
Anyway, thanks, guys. Bye.
It went to the end of his message. We got to start it over.
Okay.
Do it again.
That wasn't a very good one, just that part.
Hey, guys, it's Rob Groves. I've just been communicating with Jeremy there a little bit. Yeah, it's exciting to see that you have a podcast. It's neat how things progress. So, yeah, maybe I'll call in sometime. I got tons of ideas and things that have or haven't come to fruition. So, anyway, thanks, guys. Bye.
Nice. Well, the thing is, you could say, by your definition, he has already called in. He has already accomplished his goal for, let's just say that's his goal for 2023. He's accomplished it. So congratulations, Rob, on calling in. But if you want to call in,
I can't wait to hear what his ideas are that aren't to fruition yet. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah. Well, if you want to call in again, we'd love to have you. So
it's true.
Yeah. So what
you're
else,
out there, you could call in right now. But if you're not, you can leave another message, and we'll do it.
That's true.
Time shifted.
That's true. So who else do we have on the line previously?
We have my friend James. He's on our Discord server. You might recognize Twisted Grim on Discord.
Does anybody ever call him
butterwhat.com/Discord?
Does anybody ever call him Jim, or does he like James?
I don't know. I didn't call him Jim. Maybe next time I see him, I'll call him Jim. He's about 5 hours away.
You can see how that works out.
We're gonna play this. This is James.
Hi guys, it's James. I just wanted to ask about how the Raspberry Pi has impacted y'all's creativity and how the product line has helped make things easier, or how the various products they have helped within the standardization and just being able to jump into a project fairly quickly. Thanks.
Well,
before you make fun of me, Jeremy, I'm holding this up with 2 hands because I noticed when I started holding up the phone, my chair started spinning and I didn't know what to do. That seemed like the way to do that.
Yeah, we got to cancel out the Coriolis of the Earth, right?
You do, especially at my latitude. Is
Yeah,
that true?
that's right. Because changes in latitude, changes in attitude, you're going to get more
Ooh,
Coriolis. Yeah. Um, but yeah, uh, James. That's a fantastic question.
it is, isn't it?
I, it is, and I
I'm
think
going to leave this one to you so far because you have an important Raspberry Pi product on your Tindie store. So two of them. So
I do.
you seem like an
Okay.
expert to me.
Well, that's actually I hadn't thought about that, but that's an excellent lead-in, Pat. I I have so the first. I'll say the second one that I put out was basically a case for it made out of a circuit board. And basically, I just made this out of PCB, made a prototyping area on it. I thought it was pretty clever, and enough people did that some people bought it, and I think I've made a second run of it. So that's pretty neat. I've made a little bit of money on that. Although if you
That's the
counted my
Pi
time,
Protec.
the JC
Protect
Pi
with no T.
Protec, because it doesn't attack, but sometimes it
But
protect.
it
I
protect.
think it protect. Yeah, that's right.
I like this case. If I was smart enough, I'd have pulled mine out so I can hold it up to the camera while you were talking about it. But
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, obviously I made it, so I think it's clever. But I'm a little biased. But I think having the prototyping area is pretty neat. Actually, I'll get one real fast, Pat. If you want to, I don't know, juggle or
I'll wait.
something. Just
I'll do a. Oh, I don't have a song to sing. What can I hold up? I don't have any Pi related things to hold up at all. Don't tell Jeremy, but I have the small hammer here at my desk, and you won't believe why. Here he comes.
yeah. So I don't have this actually hooked up to a Pi right now, but you can see here it's a JC Pi Protec. It's got a hole, like several holes for the fan. You can mount it there, and then it's got a whole prototyping area that you can put LEDs or MOSFETs or whatever you want on there, and it goes in like that and like that, and
Like a
yeah,
sandwich.
like a sandwich, right? So it's not it's not gonna like protect it if you it's not gonna protect it if you spill coffee on it or something, but
But
if
nothing will.
but nothing, yeah, nothing will, of course not. But yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I've sold some of those, and let's see. Yeah,
Well, I'm going
one
to
of
tell
our
you,
former.
Jeremy, that's how we protect the electronics in our FPV drones, is two plates with standoffs between them, just like you do. Ours are made of carbon fiber instead of fiberglass, but we hit them a lot harder than you're going to hit a Raspberry Pi. So I think you're way overprotecting the Pi. I
Over
think it's a good case.
protecting, you mean?
Protecting.
Over protecting, yes, that's right. Yeah, and that's another thing. A nice little pun too. It's protec,
Yeah. And
or
it has a
protect.
protecting area on the top. Protect board. The
Yeah, kind
proto
of.
board.
I feel like on Office Space he says, yeah, ani nanaja. So it's kind of like protect,
Not going to work
protect.
here anymore, that's for sure. That-
Man, it's a great movie.
It is a fantastic movie. My favorite feature of your board, Jeremy, you were holding the wrong end up to the camera. I like the end that has no. I like the labels for the pins.
Ah, yes, it has labels too. So that's one thing that the Raspberry Pi didn't really include is labels on the pins. So it has labels. And in fact, in a recent project, I actually just I got out one of my JC Pi Protecs, basically just for reference, just to have that rather than actually putting it on there, and work for that as it should. And
I've done this too. The same
yeah,
exact thing.
yeah. So that's nice. That's been a nice little project. Um, that being said, the
But
other
how has
product
this helped you?
how has
We
it helped
we
me?
were asked how this helps you in your like stuff. It was a very general sense
Oh,
of
that's a good question. Well, how is the pipe?
you water your
How's it?
plants. I know for sure.
That's right. I made a watering apparatus with a Raspberry Pi out of a Keurig that was kind of not working so well. So it actually, instead of putting water into the coffee
Coffee.
grounds or whatever, it just puts it into the plant. And I thought that was pretty fun. That was a fun little project. Um, Yeah. So yeah, thanks for remembering that. That was one of my favorites, but it's not really working right now, as many of my projects don't
That's what
eventually.
happens. It always
But
happens, Jeremy.
that's the thing though. Like a little single board computer like that. That's I think that one was nominally $10. You can afford to put that in a former coffee machine and do its thing. And if you whatever, if something happens to it, you're not too put out about that. And I
It's
think
true.
that's maybe the most fantastic thing about it is just the fact that it's cheap enough and small enough that you can embed it in things, and I think that's really
I
good.
I rag on the Pi a lot because especially since they've gotten so much more expensive. But one of the coolest things about the Pi is it's a standard piece of hardware that everybody can buy, and there are so many projects where you could just cook an image onto an SD card, plug it in, and you're off to the races. You don't have to know how to do anything. It's easy for like one of my problems with everything I write is getting somebody else to be able to replicate my success at something. And if you could just say, download this image, plug it into your Pi, turn it on, and plug a cable into it, that's so much easier than explaining how to do, well, just about anything else, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's a fantastic point. And like just thinking about me, like yeah, that brings up Octoprint. I use that all the time, and I even support the its creator, Gina. I can't pronounce. I don't know her last name. How Heg?
Well, and it has a letter that's not in our alphabet.
I
So
get. Yeah.
it's
Anyway,
a German letter that I don't know how to pronounce.
yeah. But anyway, she's doing a good job, and
She
so
really
does
is.
my. Yeah. So anyway,
Go to
Octoprint.
patreon.com/octoprint something, and she's worth supporting for sure.
Or so we assume, or maybe you know that
Yeah.
to be the
Well, I don't know
URL.
that's not the correct address. I don't know the ad. I'm sorry. I was trying to get right in there with it, and that's all I was prepared for. I didn't know I had to study for this part.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I think that's like one of the greatest things. And kind of as you reference a little bit, if you screw something up, unlike my PC or my Macintosh, I guess, it's a real pain to put a new image on it and whatever, just start from scratch. But the Pi, pull out the SD card, you put a new image in there, you're from a known state, like within a
Yep.
few minutes, and that
I
I
have a
think is a
Pi in my
fantastic
kit
feature.
that I carry that's usually got the card in it for the Raspberry Pi KVM and so I can access a computer, keyboard, and video remotely if I need to. But I carry I carry four other SD cards to use that Pi for other things
Oh,
without
that's
having to,
fantastic.
just yeah, you just pop things in and boot it up and
And the Pi KVM, basically that emulates a keyboard and a mouse, so you can do that, as you said, from anywhere,
yep.
correct?
And video, it captures the video too, so you can
Oh,
plug that in somewhere, and then I could go home and it's like I'm at the keyboard of say a server somewhere.
that's nice. And that's
Yeah,
much
or your
less
parents'
expensive.
laptop where you can't you can't troubleshoot your parents' stuff from 800 miles away. You can leave it with them.
That's nice. Yeah. So yeah, I think we did a good job answering that question.
Well, I
You have
think we
anything
did
else?
too.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the question.
That's a
And we have
fantastic
one
question.
more, but we're not going to play it because it's a topic I want to talk about later. I
Okay.
already know the message. We could play it while it's relevant. But I want to tell everybody this next message, it made me realize something we have to say. If you go to speakpipe.com/create and vent to leave us a time shifted live call, you should, well, don't give us any information you're not comfortable with, but let us know your name and maybe where you're calling from so that so I can say, hey, I'm Pat calling from Texas and I've got, I want to know about them Raspberry Pis too or something. So we know who you are. And like, I know the next call's from my friend Brian and I recognize his voice. I know who he is, but you guys don't know who he is. Like everybody listening might not know.
I think I know who he is.
Yeah, I think you do. Well,
Okay.
yeah, but that's just, we're not the only ones listening, I hope.
We hope so. We
So
hope so.
how do we leave us a time shifted live call?
Yeah. If we go to speaktopipe.com/create and vent, I believe.
That's it.
I don't. All right. That's great.
You got it.
Because I didn't have that memorized. I just kind of guessed.
You
So
did. That means I picked a good URL. because
did.
you didn't. It just works. You didn't have to remember it.
Yeah, it's a
So
uniform
go to
resource locator.
speakpipe.com/create-invent and leave a message saying what a good job I did at picking the URL for speakpipe.com.
You did. You did. That being said, you talk about listeners, and we have people that listen, which is awesome. But we have people that
We
actually
do.
like support us monetarily, and I think we should give them a shout out, as we do
I
every
think we
week, right,
should too,
Matt?
even though it's not the coffee break.
Okay, but yeah.
Does the shout
Okay,
out
so
come first? Do we explain the URL first and then give the shout out?
tell us the URL of the.
The URL, much like SpeakPipe, this is easy. It's patreon.com/create-invent. All one word, just like SpeakPipe.
Okay, yes, you can do it there if you'd like to support us monetarily, and our top 5 supporters monetarily are in in the order they signed up, apparently, as we found out, is is Timothy Moran, Carl, thank you so much, Michael Sizer, Raptor, creatively spelled, Stuart Morrow, Brian Moses, and of course, Positive Waves, waving on by. Thank you so much for
Reverse
your
order.
support. Reverse order, yes. So Positive Waves has supported us for the longest,
Yeah,
which is
12
awesome.
and a half years, I believe. The entire
Well,
time.
since I was born. No, that I wasn't born 12 years ago.
And you don't have to support us monetarily. Jeremy will not be mad. He will not send the Florida alligators after you from his backyard. But we'd be very excited with any. It depends on where you're listening. Like thumbs ups and likes and comments are great. But you could say nice things too. We prefer nice things. You could
We
ask
prefer.
questions, even though Pocket 83 says nobody on YouTube asks questions.
Basically, his claim is that if somebody says on YouTube, he say a lot of people have been asking, they're not telling the truth. That's just not even.
Nobody's really asking. You just want to act like they are.
Yeah.
Do you see me
That's right.
looking to the side every now and then to make sure I'm not missing the chat? If you see me doing that, it means I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, you're doing a good job, I think. So that being said, did you want to get into your third caller, or do you want to go over our goals for 2023 and how we've succeeded or not succeeded?
Well, I say we do the goals next.
Okay.
And I'm
Well-
leaving you in charge of the documentation for the episode because I'm watching the live stream, so I can't see the... I do this a lot to us, Jeremy. I look at our show notes, and then the chat's gone because I'm reading the notes.
Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure what you mean by documentation because I don't know that I'm taking any notes.
The show notes.
Oh,
we can call
sure, I
it.
can do that. That's fine. I can take care of that later. But anyway, so 2023 goals. Do you want to tell us your goals, Pat, or would you like me to go first?
Well, I had a 2022 goal that I think I'm doing a good job of. And it's very simple, and I think everybody else should take a page out of my book here.
So when you say 2022 goal,
Oh, no, you're right. You're talking about this year, 2020. When you said that, I thought next year was 2023, Jeremy. I don't know what year it is. Like this year, like the
it's all
goal that
relative.
I've been performing for the last 12 and a quarter months. That's...
well, it'd be 11 and a quarter, I believe,
11.
if my math's correct.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, all right, Matho. I was close. I was off by one. I was off by
Matho. I've never been called Matho before, but that's fine. All right.
was
Anyway,
I- was I
Matho
doing?
commands you. Matho commands you. Tell us your goal for 2023.
Oh, I know what it was. Let your cleaning products sit and do their job for a few minutes before you start scrubbing things. You gotta give them time. Like I like to just go in there, you spray the Windex and you just start wiping, or you spray the countertop cleaner. I don't know what that's called. It's the one we use is a yellowish color, I think. You spray that. Don't just start scrubbing the counter. You got to give the chemicals time to have reactions.
Is it greased lightning? Is that it?
Oh, geez, I don't know. It's a clear. It's a semi-translucent bottle with a. I mean, it looks like Mountain Dew in there, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. I used to use.
Oh,
I used to use greased lightning as a degreaser for stuff, and
Do you know to leave it sit for a while? Because I didn't really understand this until recently.
Well, that's an interesting goal, Pat. So how have you done at this goal?
Well, I've done very well. It's been things get cleaner with less effort. I consciously say if it's something that's like real like greasy, especially greasy or sticky, like cleaning stickers. Like you peel a sticker off of something, it leaves the residue behind, and you got to spray the goof off. Do you use goof off on stickers?
But yeah, or the other brand. I don't know.
Well, the other brand doesn't have as cool of a name as goof off. Like goof off is what I want to be doing, so I buy goof off.
Yes, I do know to leave that sit for a while.
Yeah.
Leave that sit.
Well, it applies. Maybe not equally. I think you can usually clean a window without waiting. But anymore, I'm in the kitchen. I spray stuff and I look at the container. I don't read it, but I say, I'm going to put this down and I'm going to leave the room. I'm going to go somewhere for 5 minutes. I'm going to forget about this. I'm going to come back and then I'm going to wipe it. And everything usually then it just wipes clean. You don't have to work hard. You don't scrub it.
Do you ever leave it for too long?
No, I haven't done that yet. Like you leave it too long, what would happen? It'd dry up, right? Like dry all the cleaner would go away.
Got problems.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to try. I'm gonna do that on purpose. Ask me about that next podcast, and I'll let you know if it worked. If that was bad.
So you've been doing a good job at the school.
I think so. I know it's not a very creative or inventive thing, but I think it's an important thing that all of us who make messes, which I think all of our listeners probably make a pretty good mess. You should know about this.
I'll be honest, Pat. In my mind, I perhaps look down on the goal a little bit because I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like I said I looked down on it, but then I look at, because I just feel like it's not the most ambitious thing I've ever heard. Okay. But
I'm going to tell you, for 46 and a half years, I've been not knowing to do that. And how many hours have I wasted wiping things clean and it's still dirty?
Okay. No, well, I was going to couch that whole thing because I look at my, my goal here, and one of them is to, let's see, clean office 30 minutes per week. And I did not accomplish that. There's no way. I did that like once or twice.
30 minutes is a lot.
Yeah, and doing it every week, and I haven't done that. So I guess I just, I think in my mind, okay, that's a little bit of a silly goal, but now I set it, maybe not the same sort of goal, same category, and I entirely failed at it. So who am I to criticize?
Well, we don't know how many times I've failed, because I may have forgot. I did not know. Maybe things worked out and I was okay.
Okay.
I don't like your 30-minute goal for that, though. I think tidying things up, cleaning things, I think it's better to do it in a unit. Like, if you have a whole bunch of boxes to fill up, just say, I'm going to fill up a box with junk. And I'm going to organize one box, one container, one toolbox, I'm just going to do one. And that's it. And then we'll do the rest another day. And before you know it, you're done. It's not too many days later and you're...
Okay. That's not bad.
I fail at that a lot.
Okay.
But I think it's a good idea.
That's a good idea to keep your stuff clean. Actually, at one place I worked, they had a, I'm not even kidding. They had this whole thing where they had 5S, which was like clean, sort, I don't know what the acronym was, but sort something shine. Anyway, and they literally had a picture of my desk on the wall, like framed on the wall, that said "bad example," and yeah, I was slightly ashamed of that, because it's like, I clean up eventually, and they didn't like take it down or anything, as far as I know.
Did you see how I tidied up for the podcast here, Jim? I pushed everything to the middle here.
That's
behind
good.
Me, so that no
I
one
tidied
would know.
up by having my work desk out of focus, so you can't even tell. So, but some people they put up like a fake background behind that, and it's not like not like our guest that had the really fantastic setup. It's just like, who knows what's going on.
The one where sometimes your head disappears halfway and your shoulders look funny, and yeah.
I was doing been doing some research for an article about quantum computing, and this lady was on there. She's talking. I think she was talking about something like quantum entanglement or something like that. But the thing is, she was using really bad filters. So like half the time, half of her arms would come off, and I'm like, wow, this is like she's becoming quantum. She's quantum teleported or something, and it's which I guess is a thing. So
Jeremy, I'm 3 minutes late. 2 minutes late. Positive
okay,
Waves has suggested that we clean as we go.
we clean as we go.
And I want to add to that be careful. Make sure it's time to clean before you clean as you go, because sometimes she's going to be mad because she can hear me. But my wife likes to clean up in the kitchen before we're done with the tool. Like she'll start cleaning a bowl, put a bowl in the that we're mixing things in, and then we need to mix the same thing again or a similar thing that we would just put back in that. But it's gone. It's already, all of that's just gone and cleaned up, and we got to dirty another thing because it's
Yeah,
already been
no, that
taken
happens
away.
sometimes. And yeah, hello to Positive Waves. Good to hear from you while we're doing live
Oh,
stream.
that's smart. Hello, Positive Waves.
Yeah. Um, another story like that. So, my kids, they have like, clothes obviously, and sometimes they get dirty. And my wife put it in like a grocery bag and put it in the laundry hamper. And so sometimes she'll put trash in there, whatever, before it goes out to the main trash can. So I pick it up and I put it in the trash and I threw their clothes away. So that was,
And nobody figured it out till it was way too late.
Yeah, no, it was gone. It was, I guess we had to buy new clothes or do without. I don't know.
Probably a little of both.
Probably a little of both. So, but yeah, it's good to stay clean. Trying to look at some of my other goals. I had some other goals I wrote down for 2023. Some of them were financial, which I don't want to necessarily get into that there. Which most of those, well, let's see. I said increase monetary rate or obtain a new customer 3 times, which I think I've come pretty close to that because I've got at least one new customer, and I know I've got an increase from at least one of my customers. So I'm gonna give myself a pass for that.
Okay.
I said I would do one successful Kickstarter, which I have not done. So that's definitely a 0 on that.
Fail.
Yeah, fail.
F.
And yeah, so that's okay. I also want to do $10,000 in product sales, which I did not do that. So that's okay. It's
Would you believe I almost did that?
Did you
By
really?
mistake? Yeah. Those soda
Well,
adapters almost hit that. I mean, if you're talking about the dollar number on Tindie.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. You're
Well,
welcome.
yeah, and
I'm
those were
welcome.
adapters that were for the Soda Stream adapters. They would actually
For the
allow you to
soda
use
stream.
some sort of other CO2 cartridge. I mean, I had a couple other non-monetary goals. I guess I was going to try to get my weight under 230 pounds, which I have not done. I'm about 235, but it's actually pretty decent for me. Um, I also said I wanted to support myself with my hands in a sit position for 3 seconds.
I
Maybe
remember
I can do
this
that.
goal.
Yeah, and you know what? I got to where I could do it like for a little bit, but not 3 seconds, and I haven't tried it in a while. So perhaps I will succeed in that. I don't really know. Um, Also said I'd improve with my baritone ukulele playing. I think I have. I've practiced some, so that's good. And had some other goals under that, which you know some of them I've done, some of them I've not. But yeah, actually going over this, I feel like I've been more successful than I thought I was. So that's
Jeremy,
nice.
I could tell from your long list of goals that we have a very different philosophy on I just want to do everything a little better the next time I do it. Every single thing I do, I just would like to do just a little bit. It doesn't matter how much, as long as it's always better than it was the day. But I don't like set a. I mean, I get except for cleaning. I guess I do. I mean
Right. Yeah.
that either
I mean,
works or it
I
doesn't.
suppose if you're saying you need to leave the thing sitting, then you're implying that you have to clean. So that's, you know, but yeah, that's interesting, Pat. I think, I mean, I guess I could say that in a way that improving on the baritone ukulele is a bit of that sort of thing, but it's not like I'm
Yeah.
doing, I don't know.
Well, I was just mostly thinking that some of your numbers were financial goals had numbers attached to them, and But I realized while you were saying these goals, Jeremy, I missed an important goal.
What's that?
Last night I went out to the garage and dug around to find something because I had a visual gag to use today when we played the speak pipe stuff.
Oh no. Okay. Well, yeah, let's see. Pat's reaching down for whatever it is. And
I went out and I got a boom box.
okay.
I was gonna mime. I was gonna play the message. I was gonna put a tape in here and stuff. I forgot I did that.
Well, do you want to do that for the third one, perhaps?
Well, I already explained it.
You've already spoiled
and I was
it,
unprepared.
so-
I can't really play. I couldn't find a blank tape. I was gonna even record the messages onto a tape. I asked Chris if she had any blank tape. She said no. She told me they're all full. I'm like, well, what is?
What?
What is that?
All right. Well, I don't
does
know
that
if we have
even
time to analyze that whole thing.
No.
She's got some B-52s and whatever, some Pearl Jam on there or something.
We'll never know. She didn't show me
Never
the
know.
tape, so there's nothing in there.
Huh. Well,
If I had
maybe,
more time, I'd have burned a CD. But we shouldn't spend too much time on this gag that I forgot about.
no, probably not. Well, I guess before we forget about it, do you have any goals for 2024? Anything you're going to do a little bit better? Hopefully.
I'm gonna do everything a little bit better, Jeremy. That's my goal. Well, right now my goal is to survive because we are sending Chris, my wife. She is going to visit her brother and mother and family in Georgia next week, and she's not coming back until early next year. So I have to survive from like the 1st to the 7th without adult supervision.
Well, I was thinking you were hoping that she would survive because I know that Russia's somewhat been fighting with Georgia a little bit on the border area.
Yeah, but I think there's a military base right in the town, like in the next town over from where she's an Air Force base. I think she'll be okay. It should be well defended.
Wait,
was I
but
too
seriously,
deadpan responding to your joke?
perhaps. Yes, but I assume she's going to the United States state
Yeah,
of Georgia.
a little bit north of you guys there, like hundreds of miles north of where you are.
Okay. Yeah, it's I feel like I've been I drove from Atlanta. No, well actually I rode from Atlanta. I wasn't driving. We went from Atlanta to Tallahassee. And it seems like somehow we got turned the wrong way and ended up going to a military base. So maybe that was the one you're referring to.
You never know.
That's the second time I got turned around at the guardhouse at a military base, but that's they were nice about it both times. They weren't too
good.
unhappy.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have any goals for next year?
I really hadn't. I thought about it a little bit beforehand, but no, I don't have any like set goals necessarily. I'm sure I'll, maybe some of the same things about financial. Try to get you're always trying to improve, get new customers, get paid more, et cetera, and stuff.
Well, we're going to talk about this later. I expanded a product on Tindie today, and I'm hoping people buy it next year.
Okay.
Is that a goal? Does that count as a goal? I'd like sales at all.
I think that's a goal, but more sales than Tindie, that'd be good. I don't have any huge goals. I mean, if anybody has a something they'd like to see me do, or maybe us as a podcast do for a goal, then you can certainly let us know in the comments or
go to speakpipe.com/createinvent.
That's right.
I've been requesting a goal for the last 2 or 3 years, Jeremy. I said I learned how to fly an FPV drone pretty well. And that's a lot easier to do now than it used to be. Then I learned how to ride an electric unicycle, which took a couple of weeks just to get up on there, standing on it. And then, I'm not these crazy guys that go off jumps, but I could ride an electric unicycle now. I want the next challenging skill to learn, and I haven't gotten any good. The best suggestion anyone's had, but I'm not interested, is juggling. I don't want to learn to juggle.
Yeah, maybe I said that.
You might have said. I think it was either you or whoever was on the show the day that I said that this was what I wanted.
Because there was some reference to being a juggalo, and you or whoever else said that had nothing to do with actually juggling, which I thought was just, you know, I think you
The
should be able to
juggling
juggle
on the
if you call yourself a
unicycle would
juggalo.
probably be circus worthy. Pogo sticks. Frank Paul, I had a pogo stick when I was small, but when we bought it, I was not heavy enough to compress the spring. The first, it was not for my age bracket. So when I'd get on there, you would jump as hard as you could, and it just wouldn't go anywhere. And the bigger kids in the neighborhood that tried it, they could compress the older kids. They could compress the spring. And look at them. It took years before I was able to ride that thing. But that was pretty easy when I was small.
Do you ride a pogo stick? Because I feel like it's a little bit more active.
He didn't say ride. He just Frank
you
just said
ride.
pogo stick. Just pogo stick was the whole comment. And,
But I think you know what he means. I don't think he means you need to come up with a pogo stick collection. Like get one from
no, but
Charlie Chaplin or whoever had pogo sticks back in the day.
I am just assuming I still have. It must be like riding a bike. I hope that I would be able to get an appropriate pogo stick and at least use it today. Do you think so? I don't
know.
I don't want to get
a-
hurt either trying it. I don't want.
Not an efficient mode of transportation, I don't think.
No, well, nobody said it has to get you anywhere. It could just be go around the yard with it or something, around the patio.
You could do whatever you want, I guess.
I'm gonna have Stable Diffusion make me pat on a pogo stick pictures after this.
Why don't we get into what you want to sell on Tindie, Pat? I'm
I'm
curious about
excited.
this.
Now, Jeremy, you've written an article about the thing that I was selling, that I've expanded on, was those little carbon fiber doodads to put things onto a bag. Because I don't know how to sew, Jeremy. Do you know how to sew?
I do, actually.
Do you know how to sew weld? Like, could you sew like onto canvas and get it in the right spot? And I don't know.
I mean, it depends on how you define well. I am functional with the needle and thread. Whether it looks good, that's in the eye of the beholder.
Me, along with everybody else in my intermediate school, I took home ec, and I sewed. I sewed this little thing. I got a little kit. Bought these kits, and I sewed this little round guy with two eyes and little. He was just a head with arms and feet, like hands and feet.
Okay.
But I don't think I could.
Scary.
But this was tough. This was a terrible product because I didn't know how to put. You have to poke holes to put screws through your fabric.
What do you have there? First of all, let's describe it for the people listening.
Well, this used to be a headphone case. This is where my Pi KVM lives, Jeremy. My Raspberry Pi KVM kit, and I needed a way to hook it to my bag.
Oh, nice.
So I've got a little 3D printed hook. There's a receiver side on the inside. And I've got some in blue here so I can hold them up to the camera here, Jeremy. Like you got a little receiver piece and a little hook piece that screw together with the fabric in between.
Okay. Oh, I get it. That's interesting. So it's almost like a button, but it's a hook.
But it's a hook. The first ones were a strap. You'd put a Velcro strap through. I have one with a 1/4-20 tripod screw. This one I was thinking I would put it on my book bag, my backpack, so I could put my camera while I'm on my wheel, my little tiny camera, stow it away, and then take it off.
In other words, you've got a 3D printed hook that you can attach to whatever.
Anything fabric without sewing. But the tough part was always poking the holes, getting them in the right place, like I was using my Swiss Army knife to make little... No, that's all stupid. I've solved the problem, Jeremy. I'm super excited.
Okay.
I found these 3mm leather punches. Well, first I found them on Amazon. I got a set. Then I 3D printed a little thing that's exactly 32 millimeters apart, so you can put the punch in and just give it a tap with a hammer. I even brought a hammer for this demonstration, Jeremy, or to hit you with if I have to.
And what you have there, it almost looks like the shaft of a dart, but it's not, obviously.
It really does. It's got a little, you'll never see it. It doesn't really matter. If you Google for leather punches, this is what you find. And I had to get a set of all different sizes on Amazon. That was a bummer. But then I've got these, the template is 2 pieces with magnets. So you put one inside your book bag, you put one outside your book bag, and they stick together. Then you just come up behind it, you put it on a good surface, and you give it a thwack. You move it to the other hole, you give it a thwack, and you have 2 beautiful holes right where you need them.
Okay, so basically you've made a very easy way to put a hook on a backpack, or, I mean, you could even put it on your pants if you wanted to.
You could, yeah. I don't know if you'd want that little plastic piece. It's kind of thick because it's the receiver for the M3 screws that I put in there, so it's got to be a little
Right.
deep to get a good bite. But yeah, you could put it on anything fabric.
Yeah, man, it makes me want to like put I don't know that I want those on my pants, but maybe like some like no, I mean but maybe like some canvas straps or something, so you could put like cameras in there or whatever else.
Yeah.
That's not a new idea.
Well,
But
I have it I'm using the Velcro straps on my laptop bag, one for a PlayStation controller because I didn't have room in my smallest bag to add a controller. But then when I take that bag, I also realized I need a bottle of water when I go on my wheel. So I put another strap to strap in a bottle of water real tight to it. Mostly because I have to put a strap everywhere since I could, right? Nobody needs this many straps.
this might be a little niche, but whatever, maybe it's not. You remember on Star Wars the alligator bounty hunter that was with Boba Fett at some point? He looks like an
Yeah.
alligator or something. Yeah, okay. It seems like he had on his suit a bunch of like some canvas like with little like straps on it, like a little sort of like a bandolier around his suit somewhere. So I think that'd
Molly.
be cool.
Do you know about Molly stuff? MOLLE? It's a military
Yeah.
strap thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You know what? I have a backpack. So yeah, he had like a Molly type strap system on his pants. And I feel like even though I do most of the sewing in my household, I think my wife wouldn't necessarily approve of that style. If
I
were,
tested the weight these can hold up.
Okay.
Well, I really tested. I wanted to know if, I would never carry a full frame camera on this, but I wanted to know if my full frame camera and lens would fall off of my bag. So I put one of these on my old book bag. I used a janky setup of zip ties and things, and I picked up my 42-pound unicycle by the thing, and nothing shifted, nothing moved, nothing creaked, nothing.
Wow,
It's
that's
nowhere near
amazing.
the weight limit. It's
I was thinking, to drape this point even more. I have a nice pair of khakis, and my sister's getting married next week, and just throw that personal thing out. I was thinking maybe I could install on these khakis, I can install a Molly system so that I have whatever I need,
all of
on
it.
my thigh. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a good style, right?
Well,
for
for
a
a
formal
wedding?
occasion.
I
Yeah.
don't know what they wear at weddings, like nicer stuff, like
Yeah, no,
buttons on
probably
the shirts and stuff. Probably not. Probably
probably
not this pattern.
probably I wouldn't be probably I would be told to wear something
Your
else.
sister will be angry. Is my
My
guess.
wife will be. I mean, my sister won't be angry because my wife acts as kind of a filter for this sort of thing.
Your wife will be angry first, so she won't.
She'll be
it won't
angry
get
for
there.
for. Yeah, that's right. But then I could remind her, look, you want buttons sewn on stuff when they break.
Yeah,
This is the
this is the
the
skill I
price you
have. I
to
got to
pay.
use it. It's got to be used.
Yeah. Um.
But the
Okay.
biggest problem with this is what I need somebody to call in with. I don't know what to call this, and I don't even know. Like, I think most people don't even. It doesn't even occur to you that you could add something to your backpack or your camera bag. Like, it's not even a thought you would have. And if you did have the thought, I don't know what you would type into Google.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
I mean,
the
I don't
biggest
know. Backpack hook, I guess.
Yeah,
The backpack hook by Pat Regan.
yeah, but it'll be. And these are The STLs and the source code are all up on printables.com.
Okay,
So you could go make your own.
So
You don't need to buy
well,
mine.
I feel like that's your sales pitch. Don't buy mine, just
It
print your
is.
own. Is that
Well, I think I have something very important in the Tindie shop, Jeremy. You could buy the magnets and the doodad because I've got 30 of them
Oh.
over here so far. It was a good deal.
so? What are you selling the magnets and doodad for?
I don't know. It's like $5 plus shipping or something. I don't know if I did a good job with the pricing in there yet. I was lucky that I got it to set up the way that I wanted it to, with the being able to pick and choose the parts that you want.
Yeah,
So I
I don't know.
I only did this yesterday. I don't know if I got the prices right.
Well, unfortunately, I don't feel bad. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't write for Tindie anymore. Not that we left on amicable terms, but
Well,
I
good.
just, you know, I can't write that up for you,
Well,
unfortunately.
I don't think Tindie is not the right market for these. It's okay. It's okay that they're the storefront, but I don't think that this is going to be like if this was on the front page of Tindie. I don't think it's going to sell out. I don't think it's the. But that's fine. I'm not too worried about it. I'll find a market. We'll get there. What I really want to design next, though, Jeremy, is have you heard of a fidlock?
No.
They come on motorcycle helmets. It's a patented thing where you just put them close together and there's some kind of magnet in there and they snap together and they lock shut. And then you just pull on it a certain way and it undoes the magnet and then that undoes the clasp and it just falls apart. I want something like a fidlock where I could take a thing and put it on the strap. Like put it on up to the 3D print and it'll kind of grab and lock. Wouldn't that be
That's
cool?
nice.
I
That
don't
would
know
be
how to
cool.
do all the ideas I have to 3D print stuff. Well, there's probably a patent, so I can't do it the way they did it.
Right.
But there's got to be something. It doesn't have to hold 42 pounds either. It could, as long as it could hold a pound or two pretty well.
Sure. 42. Yeah, that's an answer to life, the universe, and everything, I guess.
It is. Yeah, isn't that weird that my wheel happens to weigh 42 pounds? And that was the
It
heaviest
is.
thing I could find to lift?
It is a little strange. I ran into that with some terminal program was like 42 lines or some old terminal, and I was like, I wonder if, I mean, probably not. And I don't remember. I should have
No,
written it
you know
down.
where
But
that, I know, I'm going to disappoint you because I know where that comes from.
where's that?
EGA cards, I think, would be the first ones that they had an 80 by 43 text mode. And you had 42 probably because there was like a status bar across the bottom or something. So you had 42 left above
That's
the
interesting.
43.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you knew because I was feeling pretty neglectful for not remembering that or writing it down or something. So that's interesting. I didn't know EGA even had a text mode like that.
Yeah, I think that was when that one came out. And then VGA had like a 132 by something. But I've done a bad job.
VGA's Oh,
EG,
well, I was
CGA was first. EGA was second with 16 colors in graphics mode. And VGA was 256 colors.
because EGA was what? Enhanced graphics adapter, and then VGA was very graphics adapter, right?
Very, very much. I think it might have just
Very.
been video. That was a dumb one.
Or very good adapter.
You have to fire me, Jeremy. You have to threaten to fire me, Jeremy, because I did not look over at the chat in a while. And Positive Waves 11 minutes ago. I'm going to read this for you here. I have a filament 3D printer for a while, and I've just purchased a resin printer, which has fantastic accuracy and finish. He's right about that. Just wondering what you guys think of the air quality VOCs, etc. with the resin. I was thinking of making a heat exchanger and into an enclosure. There's an icon over the words. I can't read them. How's that? I'll get it here. Just give me a second. I'll paste it in somewhere else here. I was thinking of making a heat exchanger into an enclosure as I am in a cool climate here in Ireland. It's Seattle-like. How do you feel about resin? I know how I feel about
First of all,
resin, but
Seattle sounds like a nice temperature, so that sounds good. But myself, I have an FDM printer. I guess I'm in my second one at this point, third one, and man, it's like the resin printers. It's tempting because they are fantastic supposedly, but yeah, the air quality aspect scares me, and just the fact that you've got something, liquid like there. I just wonder if it's I'll use my printer sometimes I won't use it for a month or two and then just use it. So it's like, I just feel like the maintenance requirements of that might be more. I don't know. What do you
Your
think, Pat?
use case, this doesn't answer positive waves question, but for your use case, resin is a bummer because you dump a whole bunch of resin in that thing, in the tank, the reservoir, and you print something small and you have resin left over. My understanding is you're on a timer at that point. I think you could pour it back into another container or something, but it's going to be degrading now. And if you don't print again for another month, it may not print well again.
Yeah,
But
I think that's my biggest problem with it. Or one because it's like I'll think of something, I'll design it, and I'll log on to Octoprint and print it, and I don't even have to think about. It's very seamless, and
yep,
that would be a problem with the resin printer. But
yeah, you don't have
anyway,
to
Pat, you
prepare the
gotta
resin ahead of time. Like,
right. So, but
but
Pat, I interrupted
I
you. So.
agree with you about the air quality. The resin has quite a, just without even measuring, not even knowing how bad any of it is for me. You can smell that resin as soon as you crack it open, and it's a large pool of it. If I had a resin printer, it'd be in the garage, and I would probably be in
Yeah.
here whenever it was running.
Well, did Positive Voice say he had already got one, or was he considering one?
He's already got one, I believe. He just purchased it.
I mean, I think that's certainly a concern. I mean, I think that like you said, if you keep it in the garage, it's probably
And it's not new. It's not a new. The fact that it's printed, that it's a printer, isn't all that interesting. Epoxy resin is something we've all been working with for years. Like I'm imagining building something out. Like it's a large enough volume. It's like you're doing like fiberglass repair. Like if you're fixing a tub or something with like a hot tub with fiberglass and resin. That's not.
right.
I wouldn't want to be breathing it much.
But I mean, that's a good point though. It's a somewhat known quantity, somewhat known thing, and it's not like you're like, oh, well, we can't be there.
I have a callback, Jeremy, to the Pocket 83 episode because he was right. And I love mine. I have a nice filter mask that I wear in the garage when I run the CNC. And they have filters you can buy for that instead of the ones I use that filter the chemicals in various resins.
Will it? Do you think that's good enough for resins? I mean, is that?
Well,
I
it'll
guess
tell
that's
you.
what it's
It'll
for.
tell you on the filter what it's good for. It's
Okay,
it's
so
published
that's
and
probably.
known.
I mean, that's probably the. Not that we're experts, but I mean, it sounds to me like the best thing to do would be keep it in the garage and wear a filter,
Yeah. Well,
appropriate filter.
whether it's bad for you or not, whether it's horrible, like the degree to which it's bad for you, I don't enjoy the smell. And the filter that filters out that smell would make it more pleasant to be out in the garage while I'm working on it.
Yeah. Well, that's Well, anyway, I hope you have fun with your printer. Positive
Yeah,
ways.
I do
It's
too. I'm a little jealous. I keep looking at them and I keep thinking I have the same problem as Jeremy. I don't know that I would use a whole batch of resin. I think I
know,
would be
it's
throwing away a lot of resin is my fear.
Well, no, I think I'm exactly like you. I'm a little jealous of Positive Ways because I think it'd be a fantastic thing to have,
Yeah.
but but you got to take care of it and you got to worry about the fumes too, and it's just kind of a I don't know. There's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives, like sort of
Well,
like a
we have
wave,
to
you might
worry
say.
about the orientation we print in, Jeremy, on the FDM. There's gravity in our way, and if you're designing certain things, they just are not comfortable in. And I have a few things that I know would print way better on a resin printer that I would like to design, but I just don't do it because I don't have the printer.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so anyway, hope you have fun.
I do too.
Um,
Since we're on the 3D printer topic, would now be a good time to talk about my new 3D printer?
sure, absolutely.
Well, that means I've got a message here that says it's from Brian McMoses. It says here, and this is from I got to do a good job, Jeremy. This is from speakpipe.com/create-invent. Brian left us a message.
Hey, Pat, I want to know if you're excited about your new 3D printer or about the 3D printer you're going to help assemble on Saturday.
That's the whole message.
Okay.
Brian didn't tell us who he is. It's a good thing we know. So we're letting you know.
Little two-part one there. So what do we got, Pat?
Yeah. Well, Jeremy, I got a new 3D printer last week.
And
It's
what
the
kind would that
tiny
be?
little Bambu A1 Mini. Jeremy, it's this small.
Okay, and what do you mean, like literally that? What is that
This
about?
is the build, sir.
What?
This is the build plate.
What? How big is the build plate?
It is it is 180 millimeters square.
So it's not tiny. It's not.
It's not tiny, but it's a little. I brought this for size comparison for you, Jeremy. That's the
Okay.
that's a Prusa Mark III versus this little guy here.
Okay, so you got a Bambu. I've heard a lot of. Seems like people are excited about the Bambu. So what do you, as Mr. McMoses said, what do you think?
It is kind of magical, Jeremy. You know how you set your the first thing you do with your new Ender 3 that you got. You had to probably had to set your Z offset to dial in that first layer.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while.
Nope, that's gone. You don't do that anymore. The printer detects where the bed. It touches the nozzle and uses a force sensor to know where the bed is. So no first layer calibration at all. It just does it, and you get perfect extrusions because it has a flow rate sensor. So it knows how much plastic is coming out of the nozzle, and all your prints come out very close to perfect with zero tuning, zero dialing in. Well, I don't want to say cheap garbage filament always works, but the diameter of your filament can be off and you're still going to get a nice print. And the one I got, you could put 4 spools of filament in and print in 4 different colors at this.
And this works too well too, the switching?
It works extremely well. I've only done one very simple multicolor print so far, but my favorite feature, you can tell it that you have PLA in all 4 of them, and you can hit a button and say when one spool runs out, go to the next one. And I put 4 old spools of filament on and ran a big print job of just these little, these little Gridfinity bins.
Sure.
I just had it print a dozen of these and used up all my old spools, and it would just eat one entire spool and then load the next one and then load and I went through four mostly empty spools.
So what does this called and how much does it cost? I want to know that.
This is the Bambu A1 Mini, BAMBU, not 2 O's at the end. It's a U. It is $299 now for the printer, the 180 millimeter printer, with all this magic, and it's fast. It's quite fast. With the 4-color,
that's not bad.
No, and with the 4-color tool change filament changer, the AMS Lite, it's called AMS Automatic something system, material system. It's $469.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Where'd you buy it? Like an Amazon or something? Or is
No,
it
on bambulab.com, right from them. And I guess you can get them at Micro Center now, if you have a Micro Center. You might not be able to get the A1 Mini at Micro. They have all the other Bambu printers at Micro Center, but these have been selling out pretty fast. They're having trouble meeting demand.
Bambu Lab A1 Mini. Wow, that's fantastic, and it works with no problems. See, I'm actually logged onto their site now. I'm not seeing a good place to buy it, but it says buy. It has a button that says buy, so that's probably where you buy it.
It is probably where you buy it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when I ordered mine, you could not get it without the AMS. You had to order it. It comes in a bundle in a tiny box. They somehow cram it all in there. But
okay, I mean,
right after mine arrived, you could get it separate.
Looking at it, it looks. I mean, I hate to describe it this way, but it looks like a monoprice mini or something. It looks.
That's
it looks a little fragile, to be honest, but I guess that's.
It is
whatever.
Sturdy. It is it's small, but it's heavy for its size. It feels substantial.
It looks to me like a monoprice mini had a child with a grocery store scale.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Like it's more. It looks much more like an appliance than most of the 3D printers we're used to.
Then the spool feeder thing. I don't know. It looks a little awkward. It all looks a little awkward to me. But you say it works fantastically.
It works fantastic. Now, Brian McMoses left a message because he just ordered his second Bambu printer, and it's going to be here on Saturday. I have to go over and help him. He needs help lifting things.
Yours came assembled.
The only thing that I had to do was attach the legs to the AMS unit. There's they click together and you put 4 screws in, and that's it.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
And it just worked out of the box pretty much.
Just everything just worked. Pretty much magic.
I say pretty much. Literally, it worked.
Yeah, I didn't dial in, tune. I mean, I followed the instructions and did what they said to do.
Phew, that's not bad.
Now, what Brian ordered, he already has the X1 Carbon with the original AMS, which is a big enclosed printer. It's pretty monstrous. But he ordered to go with that. He ordered the Bambu P1S with the AMS, which is $950, I think, with the 4-color system. But it's enclosed, which is an upgrade. Mine's only 180 by 180 millimeters. His is 256 by 256. There's a few other odds and ends that make it worth literally almost approximately twice as much. It's a fine value for what you get.
Right. Huh.
Like this, you wouldn't want 5 of these. This would be tough to set. You'd take up a lot of space with the way they're 2 separate pieces. Whereas Brian's AMS and thing, it's just a stack. It's like an old sound system. You remember the old sound systems we used to buy in the 80s where they stacked up on top of each other and had speakers next door? Jeremy, I wrote a blog with the title something like this. This is the printer anybody who's never bought a 3D printer should just go and buy.
I'm kind of thinking I should buy one of these too.
I think you should too. If you ever go to Reddit, there's a subreddit called Fix My Print. Right. And half of the problems people have are things that this printer solves automatically for you.
How long did it take to get it? I mean, does it from China or something? Or?
No, it ships from the U.S., but it feels like they're shipping containers of these to California. So there's a lead time listed on that page where you're buying them. I'm assuming that's around when the next container is going to arrive.
Okay, well that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, no, I see it's got a kind of throwback to the last episode. I see it's got a linear rail system, an XY rail, not the ball bushings, I guess.
No, that's because
is that
like
technically
Steven
a ball
told us,
bushing?
Everywhere I see calls them linear rods with the other thing with a I don't know what they call those round bearings.
Right. Well, the round bearings they're ball bushings.
Yep, and you need
that's what they're
pairs
called.
of them to lock an axis. This has a really wide linear rail on the carriage on the y-axis to hold that build plate from. I mean, it's about 1.5 inches wide, maybe. Just looking, I can't put a measurement on it there from here.
So that being said, it seemed like you got a new printer not too long ago, though. Maybe
I did early this year. I got a Soval SV06,
right?
Which is basically it's a budget, cheap knockoff of the Prusa Mark III, and they're selling for about $200, and that's still a good deal. But you have to, it's outdated technology.
But you feel like you say outdated. You think the Bambu printer is now the standard.
Yes.
Things are not.
Everybody's trying to catch up with Bambu now, including Prusa.
The thing is, I mean, if I bought one of these, one of the little ones, I could still use my other printer for the bigger prints that I need. I need it for.
And you don't need Octoprint.
By 180 is
this. You hit the send a printer in the slicer, and this has Wi-Fi.
Can you use Octoprint with it?
No.
Oh.
You won't even care. You won't notice that you don't have Octoprint. It's a piece. It's a piece that you don't need anymore.
I guess I feel a little bit bad about well, I was gonna say I feel a little bit bad for Gina, but I suppose there are plenty of people that still need Octoprint.
It's true.
So in Prusa, the Prusa printer thing, it can just send it to.
You're supposed to use the Bambu slicer, but I'm using something called Orca slicer, which is all right. Here you go, Jeremy. This is complicated. The Bambu slicer is a fork of Prusa slicer. An Orca slicer is a fork of the Bambu slicer with stuff merged in from some other slicers. It's a pretty nice little setup. But I can send stuff to Octoprint. I send stuff from Orca slicer to my Soval with the upload and print button, and I send stuff to the new Bambu. with the upload.
So
and
what
print
about?
button.
Do you have a video? Do you have video feedback on the?
Yeah, it comes with a camera.
Oh, it already
All
comes
of them
with the camera?
all the Bambu printers have a camera. This has the worst
What?
camera, but yeah, there's a camera. It does time lapses for you. You don't need Octoprint. You don't need to configure Octoprint to do the time lapse. It just does it.
Well, that's. I mean, it makes me like a tiny bit sad that this is all like all this stuff I've learned about now is not needed.
Brian McMoses is in the chat, and he's right. I agree with him. He says he misses Octoprint. I miss one thing about Octoprint. Do you know when you could go in there and you could see where you are in the print and it shows you it's drawing the lines and you could see what layer you're on? This just tells you what layer number you're on.
Okay.
Like sometimes, I don't know about you, Jeremy, but sometimes I'm patiently waiting for the complicated part to finish so I could see that it, the bridge worked.
Right.
And I like being able to, I'm like 5 layers away. I won't leave the room. I'll wait and see if it. That's.
So but you cannot use Octoprint with it.
You cannot use Octoprint. It doesn't do that whole feedback loop of. You don't print over. Octoprint works over a serial port, and there is no serial port printing on it. It's all
okay. Can you use a hardwired? Like, does it have an Ethernet jack, or is it all Wi-Fi?
This one does. I don't think any of them have an Ethernet jack, except for the enterprise one that costs it's way overpriced. It's not. It's priced so that you won't buy it. They don't want you to buy it.
Okay. The thing is, I've got a hard Ethernet line out to my garage, and I like that. But that's not, whatever. It's not the worst thing in the world, I guess.
No.
Like I think I can get Wi-Fi out there.
Well, and it's not like it needs a. I shouldn't say it's not like it needs a good connection, but it doesn't need a stable connection because the file gets uploaded to the printer and then it kicks off and prints. You don't need Wi-Fi anymore.
That being said, it's 9:30. We've been going for an hour and a half or so. An hour and 15.
Are you buying a Bambu printer? Are you ordering right now?
I need to get off this here podcast so I can go ahead and order the Bambu printer because you have sold me. No, it's just like not this Stephen Hawes episode, but the last one. You're talking to him and you order his assembly machine like. So now you're doing that to me, except we're not talking to Mr. Bambu or whatever.
When Brian's printer came out, the X1 Carbon, the X1C, we were all a little nervous about Bambu because it's less open than the other printers. It's a proprietary with lots of proprietary parts. And what if you back then it was expensive? What if you spent $1,800 on the X1 Carbon with the filament changer, and then Bambu goes out of business and you can't fix your printer? But they're going strong. This thing's selling like hotcakes. They're doing a good job there. And boy, there was something important that I feel like I missed the part I was gonna tell you. But you shouldn't be afraid to buy a Bambu today. Oh, I know what it is. I know the thing I missed. There's a gentleman on our Discord server who was the first of our friends, internet friends, or close by friends, to buy a Bambu printer. And we were all amazed because he bought the printer, opened it up, and the second day he had it, he just sent a Mandalorian helmet or something to the printer. And he successfully had a helmet he could put on his head without knowing anything about how to work the printer. Everything just worked, and he had a successful print bigger than my head. And we all said, yeah, we got to buy Bambu printers. If you could just do that without... I mean, I don't know about you, Jeremy, but I'd be scared to run to run a helmet print on my Prusa without keeping an eye on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, man, we should get Bambu to sponsor our podcast.
We should. Let's call them. Do you know anybody there?
Yeah, I got Mr. Bambu's number. I'll give him a call later tonight. No, I don't know. I don't know anybody there. But sometimes with what I do with media and stuff, sometimes I can get a nice deal on something. But I do not. I have no contacts with Bambu.
That's okay.
I don't know.
Their printer's so cheap. I don't want to say it's cheap, but that's a good price. So where can we find you on the internet, Jeremy, for closing out the podcast?
So yeah, I guess we'll close out the podcast. Unless was there anything else we wanted to talk about? I mean, we apparently don't have any real goals for 2024. So,
we don't.
Sorry to disappoint there if
I wrote
But
down, I made a list of all our guests from this year. Not to
yeah,
read
let's.
them. I thought maybe if any of them had something we should be plugging, but I didn't get that far, Jeremy, to look if there was anything. I wrote this list down. I was thinking, oh, like if the first guy, like has he done anything in the last 12 months that we should be telling you about? And I don't know. I didn't do a good job of looking any of that up, Jeremy.
They were all great. So thank
They
you
were
so
all
much for coming
this
on
year
the
has
show.
been a fantastic year for guests.
Fantastic year. But as far as work, you can find me, since we don't have any guests, you can find me at jeremyscook.com. You can find me there, or on YouTube and Twitter if you search out Jeremy Cook or Jeremy S. Cook. I should come up, and I write articles for various things. So you can find me there. So
Maybe we'll read them.
what about maybe you'll read them? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pat, what about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet, but if you go to patshead.com, just to the right, there's a little sidebar, and up near the top, there's a link to YouTube and Tindie and printables.com, and I mean, who knows what else. It's all up there. Everywhere that I write stuff, you can find me up there.
Thank you to everybody who listened. Thank you for those that left a comment, and
Yeah.
thank you for those that called in live on a time delay. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is that what you termed it?
Time shifted live callers.
Time shift. Thank you for all our time shift live callers, and
And I hope we have many more. Speakpipe.com/createandvent. And thank you, Frank, for telling me that my YouTube is still working.
are we still live, by the way? Or
We're still live. I'm about to hit stop.
okay.